Как сегодня продолжаем. Самое главное, что нам нужно, это найти бабло вот каким-то образом. Так, а что мы тут делаем? Мы просто к ней вышли, и мы должны были к ней вернуться. Что у нас тут? Одно очко. Очко? Нас интересует нет очко. Нас интересует другое очко. Поговорите с Титом. С Тиц-командом нужно вернуться к нашему мистеру Тиц. Ну и вот расту, конечно.
This window is pristine on the inside.
Мы уже изучали. Я знаю, господин рассказчик, мы это увидишь. А чё мы идем через номер классе, если нам нужно спуститься через наш интимный вид? Наш вид, в котором мы будем очень близко стоять к КИМА. Идемте. Старые лифты — это очень хорошее место. Так, давайте временно берем пакет. Сезам откройся. Сезам отдайся. Сезам откройся, Тим отдайся. Кстати.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
Дайте подскопить здесь немножко.
Oh, dear. I'm not sure where to begin. Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle.
It's always a challenge to describe the person you know best in the world.
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame, and he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even.
The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting down the woman's description.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, you know, just in case. We'll be celebrating our 16th anniversary this autumn. Not the most numerically satisfying anniversary, but I like the less obvious milestones even more somehow. Via dating agency, I'm ashamed to say. I was looking to get back into the scene after recovering from my accident, and he'd just divorced. We hit it off, and, well, here we are.
She's skipping over some important parts. Perhaps you'll find out more later.
I hope I've been useful. Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating, but I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutiae.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
Тим, наверняка ты тоже хочешь послушать. Наверняка.
Well, it's a phasmid, technically, but...
Ah yes, Phasmatodea, a diverse group of insects whose bodies resemble twigs, leaves, that sort of thing. Ghost insects, colloquially.
Where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed. It disguises itself among the reeds here on the insular Indian coast.
Больше всего у меня вопросы к тому, что здесь прохладно для насекомых.
Hence its name, the insular Indian phasmid. Perhaps you'll end up co-discovering the phasmid with us officers.
There's a touch of awe in the way she enunciated the creature's name.
И почему об этом говорит Сумрак? Здравствуйте.
I knew it. We're gonna be chasing made-up insects with cryptozoologists.
Кстати, мне же нужно. Мне нужно.
It's not made up, officer. I can assure you.
There's a hint of defensiveness to her retort, but also confidence. She seems to sit up a little straighter in her chair.
It's simply elusive, so much so that most establishment zoologists doubt it exists at all. Well, some teenagers making out in the reeds saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a brief article in a local newspaper about their encounter with a ghost insect that looks like the reeds. Gary sent us the clipping. Of course, most phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insil Indian phasmid perfectly, and they didn't even know what they were looking at.
Enthusiasm has wiped the worry from her face. Her eyes sparkle behind her glasses.
I suppose I have something of a personal connection to the Insil Indian phasmid. All scientists have their little hobby horses. Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully? Oh, I doubt it. No one gets into cryptozoology for the money, sweetie. Yes, it can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. It's how it stayed hidden all these years, centuries even.
That's not special at all. Of course it blends in. Most insects do. You don't even have to be a stick insect for that.
Oh dear. I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very well. It is very special. Morel can explain it all much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure.
Вы можете так не думать, но это было важная информация. Я гарантирую, что это была важная информация. До дела. So, Mr. Tits, Mr. Boots.
It's you again. What is it? Again. Just get the dead guy.
Good one, Titus.
Ну, это не нужно. Я просто думаю, что
About
мы могли-
fucking time.
что мы могли что-то не знать. Так вот. Россия. Запись. Мы с ней попиздели друг друга.
He tenses immediately. Chest tightens. Jaw sets. Ready for another blow.
Она будет самое сердце в руку.
That fucking fucker. You're the worst cops in Revachol. I gave you gold on that tape. No shit, it was bad. The fuck did she say then? It's all fuck-a-doodle fine. This is what people are supposed to talk like?
Sounds like he wanted it to change her mind about the hanged man. This is definitely personal.
Yes. In fact, I think she thought it was a little funny.
Funny. No good goddamn psycho whore. Alright. All fucking righty then. I guess it's good then. That fucking...
Блин, мужик, мне так тебя жаль. Просто. Поступи как я. Я знаю, что у тебя есть друг, я знаю, что он гей. И у тебя есть все возможности не западать на блондинку, которая портит тебе жизнь.
Please try to control yourself in the presence of visitors, Titus.
Тебе тоже жаль его визита. Ну, типа, видите, она говорит ему не так строго, как обычно. Блин, чувак, Лиза тоже клёвая на самом деле. Ну, в смысле, скорее всего, ты и нахер не срался, но... Я имею в виду, что на классе это мир не сошелся.
This is just perfect. Just fucking perfect. Any thoughts on this, lawman?
Ну, мне кажется, нас нахуй пошлет. Можно не так это и считал, можно все считать отрицанием. Это не тот чувак, которому нужно лезть в душу. Это не те выводы, которые стоит делать полиция. Давайте будем поступать мирненько.
Yeah, maybe.
He does not sound very convinced anymore.
I already told you. We fucking hanged him.
There's less gusto in his voice now. His men too are growing increasingly silent. The man is slowing down. Looks like a bad blood sugar crash. He can't keep track of all the variables anymore.
Come on, Titus. We know you didn't hang him. He was shot. I know you're tired. So am I. Why don't you just...
You know what? I am tired. I'm tired of you and the whore upstairs. Next time you see her, tell her Titus said, "Fuck on!"
This is the petulant rage of someone who's at the end of their wits.
I know what you feel, bro.
That lying, scamming. We're done. This is over. You understand? Your little investigation is over. Yeah.
On the floor, beer drips out of the can into a small puddle. No one does anything about it.
What is this quiet funeral shit? All we need is some beers in us. Bartender, 20 beers for the Dock Workers Union.
Why do we make it 40, huh? Why do we make it 100 beers? You're not loud enough.
100 beers? Now we're talking. Hoppity hop over here, cafeteria manager.
The window might be closing. The more beers they get in them, the less cooperative they will be.
Какие-то, знаете, такие стройные ножки, конечно. Гребец, он понимаете, гребец. Нам уже сохранится, а потом... Не знаю, почнуть риторику, чтобы убедить. Или у нас риторика на двоечку, нет? Или нам нужна какая-то мысль. Что у нас? Дорога домой, самокритика, проростки совести, едкое эхо, лекции пистолеты. На них нужно прямо ставить. На них нужно прямо ставить место. Ладно, я пока не знаю. В принципе, у нас хороший шанс на риторику, можно просто перезагрузиться пару раз. А куда мы еще можем сходить? Поговорите с Джой, с командой, каким пойдем байки. Это на третий день. На третий день. У нас нет денег. У нас нет денег. Ну, либо нам придется воровать книгу. Мы хорошие ребята, мы не берем книги. Это тоже не сегодня. Ну, может быть, сегодня. И вот курильщик 9. Ну, сюда нам нужно... Сейчас, это все, что мы можем сделать. Hello, bro?
It's you again. What is it?
Вам не хватает настоящей музыки, и он ее дал. Вспомни.
Convince Titus he's being manipulated. You should know by now. Titus Hardy will never falter. But you know someone who might. Fat Angus, the powerful guy, Mr. All Muscle. The time has come. Put him in the pressure cooker. Just remember, it's about more than Glasia. It's about these men and Martinez, their district, their responsibility.
Huh?
He'll get it. Go on.
Got it. Kill you because they don't like you. All because...
Bring that up one more time, and you won't get to write that report.
The man's fists under the table are balled. You can tell from his neck and shoulders. He means it.
Yes, I understand, Alain. That's your name, right, Alain? You'll kill us. That's what they do in the wild north.
It wasn't that. It wasn't. We didn't shoot him.
Моя ты зайчка, моя ты булочка, мой ты кексичек, моя ты запеканочка. Продолжай.
That's it. That's the weak one. You flushed him out.
Officer, you will be next if you don't shut up.
Раньше он так не реагировал. Что произошло?
Firearm. A Glass 08 or a 38 caliber pistol. Either is small enough for you to have missed. He's onto you. He knows what you're trying to do. The lieutenant has put down his notebook. His hand is resting on his holster. He gives you an imperceptible nod. What? What does that mean?
We didn't kill him. We didn't even hang him. He was dead when...
Shut up, Angus!
Fatty! Say one more thing to the cops and I'll...
Dennis, stand down, or I'll beat your head in. Theo, take your hand off the belt. This isn't 31. I've got this under control.
Еще одна наша запеканочка.
Does he? His closed fist is shaking. It's you who's in control. Let them have their moment.
Angie, where's your goddamn inhaler? You sound like you're dying.
I left it home. I can't get it. I'm too fucked. I'm sorry.
Бля, ребят, может я сгоняю, там типа аптека есть. Это ж типа... Я не хотел.
Why are you so fucking fat, Angus? Now it's all pointless. Because of you. You wasted my time. I told you, Titus. I told you just give her up.
Lizzie, your help is no longer needed here. Go tell Evrard.
Fine. I'll tell him. After a long walk along the coast.
Интересно, его можно найти на берегу?
What just happened between these two? You're in. He's all yours. Questions. The lieutenant gives a smile only you can see.
Me too.
He nods.
You hanged the corpse to cover up the real cause of death. The bullet in his head.
Another nod.
'Cause the girls asked us to. They were in some shit.
Did she kill him?
Cop, I have no idea. The girl says she didn't.
He doesn't think she did. Or at least he hopes she didn't.
Classier came down. She seemed really out of it. Drugged up, even more than usual. Bug-eyed and gurning, you know? Not in a fun way. It looked like she'd redosed after something went down. I've seen that look before. She was scared. I knew someone had died. I've done this job for 10 years. I've seen it before. It's the politician in the motel room with the dead hooker scenario. Only in reverse.
Good analogy, boss.
You don't get to talk yet, Shanky. You're still on the bench. And you keep taking it easy too, Angus. We went upstairs. Sure as day the Merc was dead. And there was a bullet hole through the window. Fucking dirty sheets and bottles everywhere. Tibbs patched the window. And the corpse. We hanged. Nah, he's my brother. He's in the window replacement business.
И ты нападу еще на кота.
You may have noticed our girl's in some shit of her own. They can't show up on police radar kind. There are people after her from the old world, where she came from. They're powerful, connected to the moral intern. She's clearly afraid for her life. Says if she showed up in your systems, she'd be ghosted away.
And why would you help someone like that? By taking on a murder?
Why would I? I guess we abide all sorts of runaways and losers here. It's a Martinez thing. Not yet. Just some ideas. She says the shot came from outside, behind the window somewhere. So that I'm thinking someone's past caught up with him. Either hers or his.
Hers, you mean?
I mean the people after Klausya. Maybe the shot missed. Maybe it was meant for her.
I like that. Been thinking the same thing myself.
My dude. One of those mercenary buddies of his could have done it. They got guns, training, years of bad blood, probably. Or it could have been someone else from Crenell. Tell you what I'd do. Check out the coast for vantage points. Maybe consult with a ballistics buddy of mine. That's what I'd do. If I wasn't too busy doing this clown dance with you.
He's calmed now, threw all that turmoil away, and became himself again.
In a manner of speaking. We had help from another girl. It was her idea to hang him, and I liked it for political reasons. It sent a good message. Fella, you think too much. He's off all right. You're gonna hurt your head.
A little too far there, but you're definitely right.
That woman is just affiliated with the Hardy Boys. You don't know her, anyway. We're Hardy Boys, and that's it. Glad you understand that. You do that. Hey, cop, before you go, Klausya, came to Martinez to hide. Many of us did. This is where you wash up when there's nowhere left to go. The Union takes you in. Now, she refused that protection. But
Still, after all this headache,
that's right. If we didn't take care of the people who end up here, this place would just be a couple of rooms and some cargo containers.
We'll take that into account.
So we... Сейчас у нас, если я верно помню, будет выбор, аттестовывать классе или нет. И, кстати, на самом деле у нас на самом деле будет мало смысла разговаривать с курильщиком, если мы уже все узнали. Потому что, например, когда мы бы говорили с Титом, мы могу сказать, что у нас есть свидетель. Но нам это уже не особо нужно. И мы идем говорить с курильщиком только потому, что это гейское подполье. Это все наши причины. Что еще можно сделать? Добро.
Now it's turning into a kind of a snow limbo, man. What's on your mind?
ease into it. Don't go too far. This seems like a personal matter.
I'm okay, man. Just the jams got me down. The fumes, the chemical rainbows, the tarpaulin stretched on the frames and the dull engines off.
Maybe the full-on direct approach wasn't correct. Damn.
Nope, don't smoke. Some of the other drivers do, though. There's still a few around, waiting for the jam to disperse. Or waiting for the sweet release of death.
Hey, isn't he, like, smoking right now?
Okay. But this is my last one. And it's a bad habit. You should quit before both of us have lung cancer.
Давайте оставим беседу в поиске на третий день. И пока повернемся к проходу. Ну, вам все это. Уже вечер, скоро рабочий день закончится.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island, pointing toward the sea. It looks as if it's been reassembled piece by piece, secured and mounted in the air with the aid of numerous ropes and rods. A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, "I am Philip III, the Squanderer, the greatest of the Philippian kings of Revachol, son of Philip II, the opulent, father of Philip IV, the insane." Not a good track record of mental health in that family. As you look up, you notice something about the statue. There are some odd indentations on the king's chest piece. Something with great kinetic energy seems to have impacted the cuirass, around where the heart is. A bullet? Someone shot him in the heart. Interesting.
Okay, I can't see it, but I take your word for it. Well, Martinez is riddled with bullet holes. This place saw a lot of action during the revolution, but the statue is recently renovated, so maybe a joke? Target practice or a political statement? Why not? What this shows us is guns aren't too uncommon here, and people still shoot them, sometimes at kings.
The king stands high above you, surveying the bay, mute and indifferent to your sightings. Even by the standards of the Philippian kings, old sumptuous Philip was known for his profligacy. Well, he blew through the whole national treasury, starting the decline of one of the penultimate century's greatest superpowers, the suzerain of Revachol. His own maladministration foreshadowed the fall of the monarchy during the anti-centennial revolution, an end to his family line and the monarchy on the Insulindian Isola. Stories have it that he had his bedroom converted into a treasure chamber, where he stored unfathomable wealth. Krugerrands, bars of gold, ornate weaponry, armor, and various chalices. He called it the Sol Aura. It was obscene. There were whispers he slept on a huge pile of gold-dipped feathers, like some obese dragon, instead of a bed, like a normal person. But wait, you haven't even heard about his fabled cocaine addiction. You see, old Philippe wasn't just good at squandering the national treasury on gold and ceremonial weaponry, he was also a prodigious snorter of nose candy. Not just any nose candy, though. We're talking Royal Philippian Blow, allegedly twice as potent as the stuff you find nowadays, and purple. Philippian cocaine was purple. Cocaine. His Majesty's courtiers said it helped him connect with the higher realms. Beneath the cold waters of the Insulindian Bay, thrown there by the revolutionaries after they cleaned out the royal mausoleum. The original was blown apart by communards, then further damaged during the landing of the coalition's airships during the turn of the century revolution, when Martinez was leveled. Most historians think the coalition's hasty landing may have ultimately saved the statue. If the communards had more time, they would have reduced it up to even finer pieces. Some years ago, a group of liberal, artistically inclined individuals, designers mostly, thought it would be ironic to restore the statue of the most wasteful ruler of Revachol in the poorest part of the city. The statue is supposed to capture the moment it was blown apart, like an instant frozen in time, a rare butterfly trapped in amber, floating on a sea of shit. People in Martinaise tend to disagree, as do many prominent art critics and thought leaders with more nuanced social awareness than the young ironists. Philip III, the squanderer, however, with his bronze face up in the air, doesn't seem concerned about what the hoi polloi think of him in death. The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph is clutched in her hands, and there is a warm smile on her face. The photo, an ambrotype from the turn of the century, as golden as her smile. No response wherever this woman is. Your words fail to reach her.
If you want her attention, you may need to be more forceful.
Where am I? Who are you?
The smile on her face has disappeared, replaced by the weary aspect of a cornered beast.
Never mind. I remember now. I'm still stuck in that traffic jam in the 50s. The men have small jaws and everything is made out of plastic. Why do you need plastic when you can make the world out of amber? Back in Methka, during the time of the revolution, the sidewalks and cafes are filled with young people. I was on my way to see a new Boyadero picture starring Gabriel Buenguerro. Until you came along, that is. Someone was. This is Gabriel Buenguerro.
A strikingly handsome man looks straight at you, his head crowned with a wide brim hat. His hair is dark as an oil slick, and his jaw the most perfectly chiseled thing you've ever seen. This man's got a hold over her, even 50 years later. You can feel it.
He was the biggest star of his day. Girls used to faint in the aisles of cinema whenever he came on the screen. And schoolboys used to memorize all of his lines. They are someone's memories, boy. What difference does it make if it's me or not? They're beautiful. That is all that matters. Beautiful and true. And they will win. They're coming for this, you know? All of this.
All of what? The world? The present? She seems to derive some bitter pleasure from this strange thought, as if the past will one day wipe the present away, like a tidal wave approaching.
I wasn't dreaming. I was there, Loman. It was early spring, and the man behind the black sun had just come out. The posters were 20 meters tall. Everything was golden. While you, people, were tearing each other apart over your petty little revolution, Meth was a golden age.
The Republic of Mesk is a massive confederation on the Isola of Muindi, the world's largest state by territory. It's a petro-state, a constitutional monarchy, and, as of recently, an outcast due to its tilt to the far right.
Why not, Harife? It's not like I have anything better to do in this hellhole. Diamonds? Of course not. But wouldn't it be marvelous if I was? Whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine. I quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo, if you know what I mean.
She says that as if something narcotic is the real reason.
Электрохимия нам пиздит, поэтому...
Of course it does. What did you expect? Of course not. To truly understand the boyadero, you need to listen to On the Western Plain.
The boyadero, boya for short, is a cowherder from upstream Magritte, the great steppes of northern Mesk. He is a rugged individualist and explorer.
It's an old ballad about a young girl who falls in love with a daring boyadero. He promises to marry her as soon as he returns from the Western Plain. Don't be stupid. The boyadero returns from the Western Plain a changed man, one night. As he and his beloved are out walking along the river Margaret, she pleads with him to give up his riding and settle down. No. The boyadero strangles his beloved and throws her body in the Margaret. Then he rides off, because the Western Plain is calling to him. You have to understand, a true boyadero needs a whole horizon to himself. He can't be tied down by man or woman. His beloved was selfish. She didn't know what it meant to love a boyadero.
She's just a distracted old woman. We should maybe let her get back to her things.
You hear that, Lowman? I don't think your partner likes you spending too much time with me.
Nothing. I just don't think she's connected to anything.
Ну, подумай, ладно. Но тем не менее, ну просто очень интересно.
He's worried, but not for her, for you. What is it about this woman, if she's not connected to anything?
Oh, don't worry about me. I'm one of the best caminers around. I drive routes no one else will. Lomonosov's Land, Udajnaya Zemlya, the Western Plain, the Transcatolia Magistral, you for 180, Adestradas du Mirador, all the good ones, the deep trenches, where the bluebirds fly. You're right, Lowman. I'm the one who should take my health more seriously. Thank you for looking out for me.
A correct appraisal. You're quite shabby.
Is that all you woke me up to say? Yes, go. Enough jamboree. I need to get back to Meski.
Если я верно помню, чтобы с ней прям закусить, заобщаться, тебе нужно допиздить какая-то высокая постельная проверка внутренней империи. Короче, у тебя даже вот высокое воображение, чтобы войти в ее воображение и там шняга происходит. Ой, давайте нам нужно еще немножко на девяти подождать. Я думаю, уже надо сходить.
Before you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
You do? Because I don't. There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one? It's a cargo container, detective, just like all the others. We are not here to interact with containers. We are here to talk to the Union, right?
No reply. The knock produces a hollow ring of metal. Doesn't sound like there's anything inside. You attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The doors seem to be mechanically locked. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement. Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric?
Why are you what? Now is not the time to get philosophical, detective. You can do that after hours.
Oh, hey, mister. I knew you'd be back to talk with old Leo here. Yes, I did. It's like Lady Lariche said when she opened a bathhouse in the basement of my apartment building. They can only get so far before they're aching to get back. And lots of folk really did keep coming back.
Очень интересно, Лео.
No trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all. It's like that old saying goes. Wisdom withers if not shared. And old Leo is always up for sharing. Oh, yes. I leave all kinds of notes for myself. That old head of mine ain't so good at keeping things in no more. Oh, yes. I've been taking special whirling borscht to the men every day since the strike started. It's very, very good. Makes a man feel so warm and happy. I feel like I could take on Mr. Renadan's boar dogs every time the lunch is done.
Power borscht, huh? Never heard of a borscht that turns little guys into dog fighters. Alcohol, however.
Yes. I'm taking it to them. The borscht keeps them happy and in fighting spirits. Makes you all warm inside. They brew it in the whirling in rags. Oh, the whirling's cook. He makes it. Them is always talking with Mr. Manana in that weird language and laughing together. He doesn't speak what we speak. He's from Grad. Oh, sure, mister. Sure. You do that. Yes, sir.
He didn't actually understand what you meant, and now he's just nodding along.
Что, пить перестали, я не знаю. Так, нужно дойти с нашим товарищем. Где мне взять еще 8 реалов было? Или мы все-таки пойдем подавать колпаки? Я не знаю.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment. You have no clue. So many walls all over.
Концептуализацию нихуя не сделать. Мы не можем быть рядом. Нам нужно отсюда.
A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads Kraz Marzov. that isn't just a five-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of antlers, the iconography of communism, in other words. The star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mazov and the communards during the revolution. Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers retains the ability to evoke hope, disappointment, and fear in equal measure, to symbolize the toppling of the old order. Also, some social democrats were already using it. The wreath of antlers represents a natural crown. It was about building a society that could exist in accord with the natural world, and at the same time above it. Because white is the color of peace. You see noble aims, but also mountains upon mountains of corpses. They should have taken a more measured approach. Also, you're really smart. This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone here really values their security. Number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker on the balcony lives.
Let's see if anyone's home.
No one answers.
Погодите, мы не дошли до него в прошлый раз?
Looks like the young man we are looking for isn't home. I think our best chance to catch him
Блядь.
is in the evening. We should return tonight after we have finished with our day's work. How about 9 p.m.? Sound good? Tonight at 9 p.m., right here, apartment number 28. Good.
Я лошара. Я думала, мы как бы взяли этот квест, ёб твою мать. Думала, что мы сейчас можем к нему зайти. Ну и ладно, ну и пожалуйста, но не очень-то и хотелось. Опять ты тварь. Ух, я. Давайте дойдем до селения и будем ебать риторику, пока я не понял. Надеюсь, селение еще продает. Селень, пожалуйста, мне нужно немножко угла. Я очень надеюсь, что ты еще... Ага, кстати, еще здесь, значит, он тоже. Будем перезагружаться, пока у нас не получится. Что? Но по пути будет очень неприятно, потому что... По сути, мы будем вымогать у него деньги. И ему будет не нравиться, ему будет перезагружаться 25 раз.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
No need to dress this one up.
Oh, okay. Ah, yes.
Are you trying?
Sorry, detective.
Потому что нам нужен третий день. Нам очень нужен третий день. Бро. Давай, я же как-то не сдаю, что ты тут занимаешься всякой хуйней. Мы же друзья, да?
Everything's still cool here, officer.
No need to dress.
Oh, okay.
Are you trying to...
Sorry, detective.
Я думал, мы друзья. Я думал, мы как-то... Не знаю, какой-то коннект между нами.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
No need to dress this.
Oh, okay.
Are you trying...
Sorry, detective.
Нужно заплатить за номер и пойти баиньки. О, блядь. Ро. Шанс 1 к 4. Это 4-й раз. Он
Everything's
должен
still cool
сработать.
here, officer.
28 это ведь 1/4, да?
Start with a little compliment, then work your way up from there. This is about business, remember.
Oh, okay. But why, officer?
After all this mess, the broken seals, lying to you, come on.
An investment? What kind of investment?
Or you could not make this about corruption and go with something even wilder.
Fair point. You can't have a successful business without a loyal customer base. How much is your loyalty worth? $10 is a bargain for that kind of investment. You got it, my man.
Просто моя ты радость, моё ты солнышко, обожаю тебя. Видите, ему нормально. Он хороший чувак. Не то, что сраный расист, который пытался его убить. Я это наш друг. Он помогает. Он хороший. Что ж, мы можем пойти. Кстати, давайте узнаем, у нас открыто или нет.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already? Attaboy. It's coming back to him. You had your mesolimbic reward pathway worried there, not thinking about drinking all that time. It was like you weren't yourself. Maybe you haven't turned out well for your drinking. Have you thought about that? Get a goddamn rum and lemonade to yourself, boy. Or better yet, lick that stain off the counter.
Ну не при Киме же. Я и так уже блевал под себя. Не, это окей.
What happened, man? You used to be cool. Go get your boring normal person drink then. Get your drink on and your act together.
Привет, сраный капиталист.
Can I help you? Got the 20 real? Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow.
Завтра я найду вариант получше. Того клоповника, понял?
How could anyone forget, asshole?
Do I have a shaker in my hand? Is this a shaker?
He sounds irritated. And it's not a shaker. It's nothing. He's holding nothing.
Am I wearing a little bow tie? Am I wearing a bow tie? and doing this? Am I smiling? Do you see me smiling and shaking my little shaker? No. Do you know why? That's right, I'm the cafeteria manager. I'm glad we cleared that. Is there anything else?
Какого это заебал?
What you want is a goddamn drink. How is that so hard to understand? Play it calm. This man needs to understand you need a drink to help the community deal with police stuff.
Oh, well, in that case, let me pour you a nice, big, refreshing marinella. Do you want that out of a glass or a pineapple? Don't be an imbecile. I'm not going to serve you a marinella. I have work to do and broken things to fix. If that was all, I'd like to return to it.
Я хотел в ананасе. Ну ладно. Скотина ты, гад. Ты. Я совершенно точно иду спать и не пойду без тебя разговаривать ни с какой... What? Ну, увидимся, конечно. Пока. На самом деле, ничего этого делать не будет. У нас здесь еще несколько часов.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, a mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. The faucet is quite terribly mangled, but you just might be able to twist its parts into place. You handle the chain cutters deftly, applying just enough pressure. The faucet regains a recognizable shape. The steam stops.
Такой у нас Гарри рукастый-то, сантехник.
Told you that you needed those chain cutters. Everything is connected. Everything has a purpose. The mirror begins to clear slowly without you having to wipe it. Like the rest of you, it comes from a bad place somewhere in the past. That's all you know for now.
Совершенно тихонечко идем мимо. Пи-пи-пи-пи-пи. Мне, чтобы сейчас появиться мысли про слизывание пельмешка. Чувствую, как будто делаю предательство. Эй, Синди.
Hello again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural? Ooh. Not only have you found my address, you've discovered my biggest secret. I'm a coal miner.
She does have eyes that seem to be smeared with coal.
It doesn't have to do anything at all. Nothing does. Like me. Right now, I'm doing nothing at all. Yes, I keep hoping a shaft will collapse on me, but somehow it never happens. Shoot, Piggy. It's what you do, isn't it? What do I care about some fucking tin eggshells? Ugh, alright, sad Piggy. I'll give you this one. I saw a little girl in the fishing village running around with military-grade handwear. Looked cute as hell. If you haven't been there, the village is a shithole down the coast from the main plaza. Have a good time! No. That's all the snitching Cindy the Skull does for today. Actually, I don't even know why I told you what I just told you. I have a weakness for animals. It's the animal thing again. Damn it.
Спасибо, Синди.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? More lessons in basic reality? Are you sure you're sure? Your colleague seemed adamant. Okay. The Pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, Detective. The separative tissue between the islas. It is the inter-islary mass. Isla is a Messinian word for a continent of matter, enveloped on all sides by the Pale. Also, isolation, or landmass. We used to believe there was only one. In the last 4 centuries, we have discovered 7. Windy, Seol, Samara, Ilmara, Grad, Katla, and this, Insulinde. An oceanic isla. It comprises mostly of water. Moingi is the largest, Katla the coldest, Insulinde the bluest. What can I say? Each is perishing and dear. Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The Pale is the enemy of matter and life. It is not like any other, or anything in the world. It is the transition state of being into nothingness. No, Detective. We're safe. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east, and west. You are in the middle of the Isla.
As your gaze instinctively turns north, a small black pit opens up in your stomach.
Yes. That is enough. Many cities are built much closer. An uproar of matter, darling, rising into the Pale, rolling, evaporating even, a great vision. The area of transition between the world and the Pale is called porch collapse. Imagine a grey coronal mist, cold vapor marked by spores of an opportunistic microorganism, a mold that's adapted to grow at the edge of the unrest. It's the most disco thing you will ever see.
You hear your pulse rise. The air feels caustic and cold suddenly.
It's difficult to describe, or even measure. Something whose fundamental property is the suspension of properties. Physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into Pale you travel, the steeper the degree of suspension, right down to the mathematical. Numbers stop working. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It may be impossible. Oh, it is so difficult for us.
A squall of birds, hardware operating in the harbor. Firm, self-evident.
It is possible to force dimensions on the Pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path. But it is still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost, or having our minds damaged. Extensively. Some say The damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others argue that Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading, that it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. The Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by part. It feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. International standards strictly limit civilian travelers to 6 days of Pale exposure per year. No, nameless detective of the Citizens Militia. I am a member of the Entreprenetic Business Class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of Pale transit annually. Yes, carried in the hulls of airships. It's a horrific job. Automation will abolish it soon.
You should ask the Pale driver about this. See what she says. That poor woman must have stories to tell, like you wouldn't imagine.
Up to my gills, officer. Entreprenetics is the scientific study of the Pale, or a recent iteration of it by way of grad. The study of the Pale reaches back 6,000 years. The Pericarnassians called it the Western Plain. There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the Pale relies not just on technical know-how, but intensive psychological preparation. Some of these tactics have been known for thousands of years. Nothing. We remain powerless before the Pale. The only real advance in Pale transit is the speed with which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later. Hybrid airships, detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended, once you've crossed from near Pale to far Pale. In essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end, if we throw them precisely. Then they don't.
Gone, like a skipping stone beneath the surface.
The Pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There is more Pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping. What do you think, detective? Oh no, detective. It's not. One of the few measurable effects of the Pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of that development is that one day the Pale will cover everything. But this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists. Most people, and indeed most private and government sector organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. I suggest you do the same.
Off we go. You see the hanged man's mouth open.
One and all. They say Pale is death, but for the universe.
Why should we just leave, and the world get left behind?
Yes, sweet reality. But before we do, tell me, detective, is this the first time you're hearing this? Do you really not remember anything?
Ничего хорошего. Ну да, но и не особо что-то хорошее можно вспомнить. Хотя нет, я думаю, скорее он начинает понимать только о себе штуки, о мире не особо.
Beyond curious. Tell me, what do you think of the Pale?
Скорее всего, последний вариант это моралистский вариант. Если мы качаем моралиста, нам нужно выбрать его. Внушает ли она ужас? Хорошо. Риск ли это? Ну, не уверен. Конец его жёга, ну, слишком очевидно. В любом случае, существование как принцип ошибок друг друга. И как-то это. Не коммунистическое, не капиталистическое, не вот это все. Ну, скорее всего, последнее. Типа, мое дело маленькое, искать убийц.
You really didn't know. This does not spell good for the investigation, Detective. If you don't know even this, then...
Ну...
I hope so. I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague, Kitsuragi. I ran a check on him and he is very competent. In the meanwhile...
Спасибо, детка. Я буду к ним как можно ближе.
Some of that assurance is meant for herself, as much as it's meant for you. She must have a lot on the line here.
You have me. I will assist you in any way I can, even if we have to do it one basic term at a time.
Спасибо. Как там было это звук? Ты такая умная тетка.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know.
Не знаете, что мы еще сделаем? Раз уж мы сегодня плохие мальчики. Время ворвать сапоги. А завтра вечером КИМА привезет тело. Без сапог. А сапоги будут у меня. Потому что я хочу всю броню. Лили? Лили, ты все еще здесь? Сохранимся.
The bear's eyes are still glowing red. It's guarding over the freezing corpse hidden inside its belly.
Или давайте попиздимся.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
Чё, как ты?
I like it a lot, brother. This really is your finest hour. You're a genius. A regular Corpulangelo.
Я так и знал, брат. Я старался для тебя.
Come back later, Corpo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
Да заходи без проблем.
The body is reluctant to let go of the boots, as though it were its last bit of dignity. You're going to need to summon all your strength for this undertaking.
Или пила.
Whatever you're planning to do, you need to do it before you catch pneumonia in the cold draft coming from deep inside the fridge. It's not completely useless. You're able to reveal a little more of the putrid polymer sock beneath the boot. It feels like the leg is going to come off along with the boot, but you're able to get the boot to move a centimeter or two. Just relax. This is easy. This is happening. See? The corpse doesn't care if you try to take his boots. He doesn't need them. He's probably glad to get rid of them. He's too heavy to move by yourself. A great mass of dead muscles, with hoarfrost covering his milky eyes. This is the right method. It takes some time, but eventually the boots come off, with nasty slices of polymer sock stuck to even bigger pieces of skin and rotting flesh. Not good. Let's pin this on the bear. The ice bear tore up his legs with its claws. As for the boots, you can't possibly do anything with them until you've cleaned and disinfected them thoroughly. Yes, these absolutely need to be washed before. The stink is incredible. Didn't the Whirling have a kitchen?
Вот какой хуйней мы занимаемся, как только Ким уходит. Ой, крысы, здравствуйте. Чувствую себя таким плохим. Ужасно. Пацаны, вы еще здесь? Я думаю, нам нужно дождаться, пока... отлично. Я надеюсь, никто не заметит, какую
This
хуйню я сейчас тут
industrial
буду заниматься.
gas-powered stove has been used to prepare food for many hungry hostel guests. There are several pots and pans on hand. Getting the corpse residue out of these boots is going to require patience, and also a huge pot full of boiling water, soap, and white vinegar. A commercial pot draws your attention. It's very large, gigantic even. It could be used to make enough stew to feed an entire city, and also to boil a putrid pair of death boots. There is a variety of soaps and bleaches in the cabinet to the left of the stove. There is also a bottle of white vinegar in the cabinet next to the fridge. The delicious smells of cheap soap and vinegar waft up from the pot. All right now, chef, light up the stove and boil them. The strong smell of vinegar forces you to step away from the pot. The water slowly comes to a boil. Strips of polymer fabric and human tissue separate from the lining of the boots. They float to the bubbling surface. A two-course dinner of rotting flesh and hardened ceramic. The boots look cleaner and cleaner. Those bits of human flesh are beginning to look cooked. You can smell it too, just like beef stew. That's it, chef. The boots are as clean as they're going to get. Steam dense with the smell of strange meat disappears into the vent above the stove. A pair of real beauties. The boots are shiny, hot, and reek of vinegar. Just perfect.
В ногах, правда, нет. Плюс 2 авторитета. Бэч. У нас есть шансы. У нас есть очень много шансов. Отлично. Какая водичка красивая, замечательно. Так, ну уже довольно поздно. Можем еще поговорить о фадмитах, пока нет. По каким не контролирует то, что мы пиздим постоянно.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are. Of course, dear. Is there a particular cryptid that you're interested in learning about? What an interesting question. And the answer is yes, there are. The Caldamama d'Aqua, or thin whisper of sound. And that's precisely what it seems to be. Self-replicating sound waves, invisible and intangible. It's very afraid of us, which makes it incredibly difficult to track.
Koldamama Dakwa can also be translated as a whisper light and low.
Yes, that's another translation. They're both quite lovely, aren't they? Although the low part is a little ironic. The Koldamama Dakwa makes, or rather is, such a high-pitched sound that other animals, including humans, can't hear it. It could be everywhere all of the time, and we wouldn't know. Many scientists have asked the same question. Some have claimed that it isn't itself a sound, but a tiny corpuscle that emits sound waves. But there's no evidence to support this theory. It could be. As I said, it could be everywhere. And we wouldn't know any better. It could be ringing all the days of our lives and nights.
Maybe it's predatory.
It's not. Don't worry. If it were predatory, we would have found it by the damage it inflicts.
I wouldn't be so sure. What if the damage is also invisible?
Plenty. It's the evidence that led to its discovery. In the 20s, a group of Areopagi ornithologists, that is, scientists who study birds, were trying out a new recording technology for capturing sounds outside the range of human hearing. When playing back recordings they had made in the foothills of the Ea mountain range, they noticed certain anomalies, patterns that seemed random at first, but on closer examination were consistent with the waveforms of songbirds. The scientists soon discovered they could track and even predict what appeared to be feeding, mating, and migration patterns based on sound waves in a strictly delimited range of ultrasonic frequencies, even higher than those of the highest pitched bat calls.
She transforms, when speaking about these strange animals, into a confident woman.
They realized that they had discovered a new species and called it the Koldamama Dakwa, after the Paracanassian name for the voice of God, which is said to be very silent. They grew quite obsessed with these little birds. Even though they couldn't see them, they could distinguish among individual birds and even began to name some of them. Sequester, Time, Joscan, those are but some of the Mama Dakwa they followed individually. That is a sad story. A group of university students assisting with the field work in their enthusiasm for the project, and no doubt because they were preoccupied with impressing their professors, nearly drove it to extinction. They tried to communicate with it and had no other means but sound, so they started sending out sound waves at frequencies they thought might match the Mama Dakwas. And
this lady really should be a teacher. She's really good at the explaining things thing. Psst. They cancel each other out. Psst.
Exactly. And these tests were performed so recklessly that when they happened upon the right frequency, well, they wiped out most of the population.
Great regret washes over her, a wending cloth.
After that, the corpuscle appears to have migrated elsewhere. There have been recordings of anomalies similar to those spotted in Ea, but they've been few and far between. It's impossible to confirm the presence of any stable Koldamama Dakwa population anywhere. What about what? Of course, dear.
Was that? Could it be the Koldamama Dakwa? No, it's probably just your imagination ringing in your ear. There seems to be an extremely high-pitched ring. Ultrasonic. Lena said it was very high-pitched, right? It's like something tickles your ear. Honestly, your ear isn't hearing a whole lot. The distant hum of the industrial harbor, the traffic. But, admittedly, there is a high-pitched noise somewhere there too. But then, isn't there always? There it is again. You are about to rediscover a long-lost species. It must be very close. Maybe, just maybe, it will come toward you. Keep still. It might perch on your shoulder. What are you doing? You're a police officer, not a pansy ornithologist. The only birds you should be looking for are healthy women of childbearing age.
Иди нахер. Мне другая цыпочка, другая пташка. Мой несостоявшийся летчик.
Oh no. The sound. It's moving away. Somewhere over there. Go after it. No. Too late. It's gone. Keep your ears peeled, then. If the species really has migrated to Martinez, you're sure to hear it again.
Ну давайте. Бесполезно ли это? Да, но я хочу слышать птиц. Я хочу слышать неизвестных птиц, тем более. Клево, что сочетаются именно вот эти мысли. А тряпка собирается такое отдельное. Ну, мы сделали все, что должны были. По крайней мере, без Тима как-то грустно ходить, поэтому пойдемте спать.
The bed is still cold from the broken window, and not too The bed is still cold from the wind blowing in from the broken window. The mattress creaks as you close your eyes and try your hardest to fall asleep.
Here we are again, my broken bud. The waves are coming, carrying you away. But you can't go. No, you have to stay. Always half aware of yourself. You're not cooperating, brother man. It's your disgusting body. Even through your sleep you feel a vague discomfort suffusing it. Your belly and your sides are unpleasantly tender. You wish you could curl up into a fetal ball of safety. But you cannot, because of the pain.
Every cell in your body is moaning in agony, asking, what did we ever do to you?
And why might that be the case? What lava lights on such a bloated corpse to be?
Есть у меня ответик на этот вопрос? В соседней комнате находятся эти чресла.
There's no dignity here. Only reflections of your body mass. Flashes of the day. You keep coming back to yourself in the mirror. But why? To admire all your accomplishments? You're just stuck here, in the half-world. Could try looking at other people. Really looking. But why would you want to start doing that?
Все люди предатели. Присмотрюсь, если я не присмотрюсь к людям, они мне нравятся. Это наш Гарри. Это вот наша булка, которая любит человека.
Sure you do. They're all so friendly, aren't they?
Some of them are. Some of them are nice. Others are scared. At least they're interesting. Each one has a process just like yours, running in the space between their ears, full of secrets. People are beautiful, statuesque, parodies and tragedies of themselves. A great democracy of creatures.
What do you think you're doing right now? Coming to some greater awareness? Look at all these lights, blinking in and out of existence. Thoughts! You're just pretending that you're asleep, even to yourself, while the world goes on without you.
Let it. Let it.
But it never seems to let you go, does it? Time to rise and wipe that shining sweat off as best you can. Gather your...
Я, блядь, не договорил. Ну, ладно. Селери?
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall.
Во-первых, привет, Ким. Во-вторых, кто это здесь? Hi, bro.
You look like shit. And I don't mean that as a metaphor.
Внешность не важна, важно, что внутри.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm going by here.
Oh, come on, Jean. It looks like it's been a rough week on him.
Гарри, какая ты тварь. Она же прекрасна. Отъебись от неё.
It's not just this week. What you want?
There's something about this guy that matches with a face in your head. A similar but different face. The suit, the sunglasses, the haircut. He's famous. That's how you know his face.
Разумеется.
I'm not getting involved in this.
It's not my style, he thinks, glancing at the man in sunglasses and the woman beside him. Oh boy, they're mad at him. No wonder. He just doesn't recognize them. You know what it is. It's like the two of you know each other. Just ask him.
Oh, I definitely know you from somewhere.
Another life.
Yes, from another life. A different life. Maybe the life of a police officer belonging to the ranks of the... To what station do you think you would belong in this alternate and totally fictional reality?
Я это помню.
Okay. That's plausible. That's entirely plausible. Now we're really getting somewhere.
На самом деле его голос действительно не такой раздражённый, как обычно. Послушайте, он даже реально рад.
Somewhere good. Okay. Oh, no. You see, I enjoy watching other better cops solve crimes. And let me tell you, it's been quite a privilege seeing you work.
This isn't helping.
Let's be crazy. Let's say you and I are partners. How's that for a thought experiment?
Kim клёвее.
I'm sure he's fucking flattered. But Kim is not part of the thought experiment. In this one, we're partners.
The lieutenant is silent.
No, because in this thought experiment, we're all police officers in a police station. We don't do crimes. We're not crime bros.
Come on, stop it.
You're not going to believe this, but police officers. Yes, sir. Solving crimes, locking up bad guys, and get this, and not getting that drink on at 2 o'clock. Just some regular boring motherfuckers in suits and uniforms. Nothing spectacularly extravagant like you, the far-out son of Lang. Oh, it's you eccentric genius. I mean, with your unorthodox approach to police work, it has to be you. Not even a little bit.
It's an urban myth about an officer who is so far undercover he can't remember who he is. As I said, just an urban myth. You are not the son of Lang.
He's trying to protect you from further rough handling, dished out by the sunglassed man.
Спасибо, Ким.
Neither can I, partner. Neither can I.
It's a mere second, but it feels like you saw something. A gram of compassion in that sadness.
Блин. На самом деле это типа реально один из самых хороших разговоров у меня с Жаном. Ну то есть обычно мы просто обсирали друг друга. А тут прям... Да... Какая он булка.
About what? You don't look like a cop. You know what you look like? Yes, a superstar cop. Of course. This again.
He didn't answer your question. Who does this asshole think he is? A cop?
No.
No, he doesn't.
If I wasn't clinically depressed, I'd burst out laughing. But I'm gonna go with no right now.
Жан хотя бы лечится, я полагаю.
Or, we could go back to doing our jobs. This was stupid. Watch out for yourself, loser.
That voice, so very familiar. Did you hear it when calling to your station and reporting your badge missing?
Oh, really? I wonder where. That's the where you remember me from? Okay then. It's probably a coincidence. People sound alike. Goodbye.
Okay, the man with the sunglasses and his hypothetical Station 41. Weird, right? There's something missing here. Something you can't put our finger on. You know what? Just ask him. I know it sounds crazy, and you'll probably get laughed at. But still. Yes, just cross it off the list. It's probably not true, though.
Again? I can't believe this shit. I'm going to say no. Just to see what you'll say to that. What'd you say? Okay.
Jean, he said okay. Give it a rest.
Okay, I was clearly wrong. He is a firefighter, male nurse, animal control agent, something of that kind. Not a cop. Go on with your cop work. Don't let me stop you again. The woman in an RCM patrol officer's uniform winces as she notices you.
Она такая спокойная. Она просто познала дзен. Мне кажется, типа на фоне всего 41-го она просто пьет какой-нибудь зеленый чай и всегда ходит с таким лицом.
I would really prefer not to talk to you right now.
A patrol officer is the lowest rank in the RCM, below lieutenant and sergeant.
I don't know. I mean, why would I want to talk to you? No, you haven't wronged me. It's okay. Okay, fine. Let's talk. What did you want? Of course I'm with him. Why do you ask? Oh, what? No. No, he's not. What are you talking about? Actually, never mind. Don't tell me about it. It'll just turn into another...
5-machine pylon.
God damn it, you leave her alone. Keep your weird bullshit to yourself and be professional for once, for fuck's sake.
Can I actually help you with something?
Yes, of course. Preposterous. I mean, you would remember if they were, right? Who forgets their squad mates? That's not possible.
Что ж... Hello?
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Goranci and Kubek. It must be his name. Goranci. Goranci Kubek. Sounds representative.
Из-за того, что у нас низкая логика, видеть такую хуйню, предполагаем. По-моему, там какое-то из чувств, если бы было у нас хорошо вкачано, оно бы просто кричало, не называй его Гораций, Кубок, не называй его. Так что должен быть хорошим парнем.
The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air. He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door. The mention of mañana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers a whole slew of unfamiliar words and lively gestures. Then he falls silent again. They're friends? The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his, and then seems to wait for you to speak.
Horse need more vodka?
Okay, so it's vodka that keeps the men happy and in good spirits. Clever move by the Union.
На самом деле я более чем уверен, что водка испарится. Ну типа, весь алкоголь испарится из горячего борща. Поэтому в этом нет смысла. Но хуй знает.
Of course, vodka. Now that makes a very, very special borscht indeed. Turn it up and then ask for some yourself.
О, кстати, нет, он нам нужен,
Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg.
Он нам нужен, и мы попросим себе. Пригодится.
He smiles, nodding vigorously, then pours half a bottle of vodka into the pot. With a whistle, he stirs the brew. He smiles and nods enthusiastically and, chattering away in his language, ladles some brew into a small thermal cup. Then he smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn.
Спасибо тебе, даже если ты не Гораций. Как бы тебя ни звали, спасибо тебе. Охрененно особый борщ. Ну, такое это может быть. Это важная хуйня. И наконец-то мы здесь. Hi, guys. Хорошая работа. Потому что сейчас будет происходить очень красивая штука.
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. You grab the handle and pull the lever up. As soon as the metal connects against the contact pins, you hear a loud clunk. Then, the water lock starts moving.
Okay, if we ever need to get to the coast, then this is the way. But please, contain your wanderlust for now. I don't want us to get sidetracked, not with everything that's going on.
Focus on one thing, achieve it, then the next, he thinks. That's the task chain.
Эх, Ким, разве ты еще не понял? Это не цепь задач, это сеть задач. Давайте один немножко выше. Рубашечку. Шляпа мастер. Очки, визуальный раз. Потому что впереди у нас не самое лучшее. Типа очень красивая, но нам будет больно. Здесь мы бегать не будем, будем просто ходить. Хорошее утро. Хорошее утро, чтобы грустить.
Rust peels off the bent iron posts of the swing. The wind whistles through the skeleton of the small house behind you. There's desolation everywhere.
In this yard?
He's assessing the situation. How long ago was it abandoned?
Someone thought they could have a summer house in a bloc obscur for cheap. It didn't work out. They abandoned it about a decade ago. Practically, it's not an official term in any way, but look around. No sewage, broken power lines, crime, drums. Life is tough in the blocks. It's no place to build a summer house. Yes, for you to scavenge like a post-apocalyptic scavenger who collects trash and errant magnesium blisters.
It's not meant as nagging, just an observation.
We should move. I don't think we will solve the murder with forays into the urban hinterland. at least in this phase of the investigation.
Ты недооцениваешь это место. Брошка церковь Сан-Франц. Мы нашли нашу самую печальную песню. А сегодня вечером мы ее исполним. Ну, игровым вечером. Не в этом стриме. Но я спою тебе песню, Ким. Она будет для тебя. Я буду шикарно одет. Точнее, блядь, у меня не будет шикарной одежды. Ну ладно. Я не буду одет как дракон. Ну, допустим.
Banged-up motor carriage lies half submerged in the icy water, slowly sinking into the Insulindian Ocean. Only the cabin top, rear wheels, and the engine remain visible. It must be cold and lonely down there, in the icy water. The seawater has already started to corrode the metalworks. Remember the tire tracks in Martinez? This is where they were leading.
It appears to be so. I agree. We should definitely investigate.
You get a sudden, sinking feeling. Stomach acid comes up as you look at the motor carriage in the deep, dark, cold water. Why the doom and gloom? It's just a sunken motor carriage. Some motor carriages are bound to end up in the sea. The motor carriage is properly stuck in the ice. Getting it out would require a team of specialists. A single day in the salty seawater would ruin most vehicles, but this one looks worn even in places the salt water hasn't touched it. The logo is too deep in the murky water. You can't make it out, but you do see a monkfish float by.
The ice hasn't closed around the vehicle yet. My guess is it's been here since last Saturday or Sunday.
The estimate is correct. The incident probably occurred on Sunday evening.
Let's wait for the low tide and see what's inside. I don't know. An hour or two, tops?
As you sit down in the old, rusty playground, the world around you becomes very silent.
Мне очень нравится, как по-разному люди сидят. У нас сейчас, может быть, проверочка, ну, она будет, но нас все равно ожидает приятная сцена, независимо от того, провалим мы ее или нет. Я говорю, у меня приятная сцена с Кимом, потому что мы играем ради приятных сцен с Кимом. Просто слушай.
The hinges creak under your weight, dangerously so. Nothing but the sound of seagulls high above in the sky, echoing like distant laughter. Ice cracks around the blue motor carriage in the sea. The tune on your lips forms a strange yet undeniably beautiful contrast with the surrounding bleakness. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance, then, still looking straight ahead, he joins you with a higher pitched and slightly more melodic trill. The wind blows. In the distance, behind the church, some vagrants are having an argument over a bag of tear they found in the reeds. Further away, a flock of seagulls lands. The clouds pass in the sky, and the shadow of the swing moves like the hour hand on a timepiece. 30 minutes have passed. Looks like this might take a while. Time to present a good topic for discussion.
Well, historically, leeches have been used to prevent and even cure many ailments.
Clouds on the horizon grow darker, and the shadow of the swing set keeps climbing. You hear the distant rumble of the city. 30 minutes pass.
God, I hope so.
Your voice echoes on the water, strange and out of place in the environment. 30 more minutes pass.
Detective, I've been able to make out the mark ever since we arrived. I find it odd that you haven't. It's a Capri, Model 40.
Yes. Why haven't you?
It is a simple and rugged machine, favored by working men, government offices, firefighters, animal control people, you know, those kinds of people. Yes, 41. What do you think it stands for?
Все варианты ответов, конечно же, замечательные, но...
I'm sorry, Harry. I'm so sorry.
41. Precinct 41. A massive pit opens up in your stomach, and the most terrible feeling comes over you. Oh God, Harry. Oh God, Harry. What did you do? No. Just no. Say no to this, Harry.
Yes, your car is in the sea. Face it, so we can start dealing with this.
The lieutenant just shakes his head.
I'm afraid so, yes. It looks like you started in front of the whirling, jumped over the canal, and then drove your vehicle in the sea right here. Of whom? I don't think so. If anything, you were probably drunk.
Probably. Try definitely.
Detective, we don't. A rescue operation really isn't viable at this point. I'm afraid it will have to be there like that for many years. Look at it. Parts of it might be salvageable, but overall, this machine is a write-off. That is very unlikely. All the electrics are toast. That goes for the electromagnetic steering and brake systems as well. You'd be lucky to find one undamaged component in there. In a few months, there will be nothing but rust left of this vehicle. It'll be cheaper to buy a new one. Well, not cheaper. This motor carriage costs 40,000 real. But in the long run, it still makes more sense to buy a new machine than try to refurbish this. Let's face it, this is a substantial loss to your district's budget. I mean, my station only has 4 other vehicles in addition to my KIMA. People are more valuable than machines. Training a police officer is even more costly.
People, yes, but not you. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and doesn't say anything. There is also a 4th thing you've lost. More precious than the gun, the badge, and the motor carriage combined. Lost forever into the deepest of seas.
You can still whistle. Besides, the night is always darkest before the dawn.
Мир не заслуживает Ким.
Yes, let's go take a look.
Секунду, я подумаю, скорее всего, это мои уроненные деньги. Скорее всего, я пытался накормить рыб. Что ж, детка, давай я хоть что-нибудь из тебя достану. Например, мой бейдж и мой мундир командира ИГРАЕМ. Бум. Завер сидит хуёво. Но характеристики неплохие. Его бы... Как-то так. Взаимодействие. Мы видим вот это, мы видим вот это. Come on. Здравствуйте.
A police badge on which you see the photo of a man. You. Some seaweed is stuck to the back.
At least something good came out of all this.
Encased between two durable plastic sheets is a bluish card with lines of information and a watermark in the shape of the street grid of Revachol West. You see a photo, a name, a rank, a document number, the date of issue, and, in the lower right corner, your precinct. The man keeps winking at you with his green-grey eyes. The photo is old, no doubt about that. Good choice. A newer photo would look different. 8, maybe 10 years. The guy in the picture is rather good looking. He's got a nice haircut and is distinctly lacking in massive sideburns. What do you think? His face is already contorted by the expression, although it looks less grotesque on him than it does on you now. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information on it, and a shining watermark.
Harrier, that's long for Harry. So you are Harry. Evrard was half right. Probably not a lot of people know your full name. Whoever told him you're Harry Dubois didn't. It's a wartime name, revolutionary. The kind mothers give their sons during troubled times, like Undying or Boxer or Ironhide. Pleased to make your acquaintance, Harrier Dubois.
He's not going to call you Harrier. He'll keep calling you officer when he's angry with you, and detective when he's not. The badge in your hands shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information.
Lieutenant W. Freighter. The lieutenant is a rank above sergeant and below captain. It's the highest rank in the RCM that still does field work. I am a lieutenant. The title of Freighter is added to your rank when you decline a promotion to a higher rank. In your case, captain. You have declined twice, thus you're W. Freighter. There are many reasons one would do this. The rank above you in your precinct's décomptage might be taken, or sometimes promoted officers do not want to replace their superiors out of respect. And sometimes they just prefer the type of police work available to their current rank, in your case, lieutenant.
Heavy-duty case-solving machine.
Décomptage is the hierarchical system employed by the Revachol Citizens Militia. It means counting down to 2s. The lowest rank is junior officer, usually teenagers. Then there are the patrol officers, then sergeants, lieutenants, and then a captain. That's basically it, except for a few kings. Kings like satellite officers and the additional freighter rank I already explained.
The long and short of it is, you're his superior.
You are given the title of satellite officer if your partner is quickly promoted through the ranks and you rise with him. You don't seem to be a satellite. No, I've been putting up with you because despite an unconventional approach, you are doing good police work. It matters more than driving your motor carriage into the sea. And now we've even found your badge.
He trusts you, for now. Try not to spoil it.
Yes, apparently you've had a rather successful career in the past, and this leads me to believe maybe your current situation is only temporary. Good.
Such a small yet precious thing. Expensive paper caught between thick plastic, like a fly in amber. It reads.
That's just the serial number. Revachol, Jamrock, Precinct 41, with some numbers thrown in there for good measure. 4 months ago. I'm guessing that's when you were promoted to the rank of Lieutenant W. Freighter. A new badge usually comes with a new rank. You seem to have been doing well then.
The case created a lot of edge you have to take off. The death march really gets us going. A lot can happen in 4 months, especially in winter. The winters are never easy on you, of that you are sure.
Yes, it's the designation of your precinct. 41, like mine says 57. The 57th is mostly industrial harbor, a lot of asphalt. The 41st is... It's a tough station to work in. You have all of Jamrock to cover. That district should have 3 precincts, but money is what it is.
It's no wonder you are like you are, he thinks. But then again, it's a legendary district, and a hell of a station too. It must be an honor and a curse to work with people like Price, McCoy, Berdiaeva. He knew all those people, although they're not from his station. They must be big. And you? Is it an honor to work with you? Don't ask him, ask yourself. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information on it, and a shining watermark.
Подпольё.
The porter reel is just what you needed. The reel's attached to the apparatus with a satisfying click. The tape is routed behind the magnetic reader. You press the large button marked Commencer, and the tape starts spinning. There's a small delay before the song starts playing. It sounds like someone's moving in the room, getting comfortable. Then the organ starts playing a simple, melancholic tune echoing in the hallway. A lone singing voice joins in, telling you about the tiniest church in Cesson, surrounded by even tinier yard. You almost feel the seaside mist on your skin. It's mega sad. Within seconds you know, this is the one, the real shit you've been looking for. The one you trust your room to that Klasia told you about. Perform it. A click, then silence for a bit. Then the tape stops spinning. Crying is good. It gives your performance authenticity. Besides, you already know the lyrics since you listen to it like a million. Yup, they're all here. All 3 verses. And the B-side of the tape contains the instrumental version. It's like the world itself is telling you to do it. Only one obstacle stands on your way. Gart, you have to convince Gart to let you sing karaoke in the whirling. After you've won him over, you can express yourself. Let the pain out. Make everyone understand. The lieutenant watches you pack up the boombox. He doesn't say anything.
И плащ мне нравится больше. Он, конечно, патрульный, типа, короче, для детей. Ну, типа, нет разницы. Он такой какой-то детективский. Конечно, можно вернуть нашу пальтишко, который идеально подходит к нашей шляпе. Даже не знаю. Ой, блядь, тут будут сейчас сапоги, которые идеально подходят к нашей шляпе. Ой, пиздос. Так, а какое у нас внушение? Нам нужно его уточнить. Потому что когда мы будем возвращаться обратно, там будут лучшие, блядь, куртки. Там будет пиздатейший. Давайте еще возьмем внушение. На всякий случай. Все во внушение. Просто все. Очень депрессивный регион. Hello. Я думаю, сейчас мы возьмем охуенные ботинки. Боум. Вот что хочу. Вот что пиздец. Просто, да. И с ними даже наш пиджачок не такой уебищный. А в идеале вот... Ой, bitches. И даже клёши не такие клёши. Вот как-то. Ведь наш пиджак вообще лучше всего смотрится. Ладно. Мы нарядились. Мы сейчас выйдем на красивое заснеженное. На красивый заснеженный печь притон. Идем с колокольчиком. И под красивую музыку. Ким, я хотел на свободу будет. Мы закончим сегодняшний стрим. Продолжим. Ну, я надеюсь, завтра. Механики взаимодействия. А вы... Ладно. Две минуточки подождем, может, они будут. Они начнут делать свои... Горит по голову ездить. Давайте я еще немножко подожду, посмотрим, что они будут. Все их механики бездействуют. Я все еще надеюсь, что они начнут прыгать, возможно, они уже достаточно друзья. Что ты хочешь сказать? Гарри просто... Ой, какая звезда. И... На что ты обиделся, блядь? Тебе холодно, наверное, в этой хуйне стоять посреди мороза, блядь. Ладно. Ладно. Ты обиделся на то, что Ким на тебя не смотрит, я знаю. А ведь он может смотреть, но он просто стоит и отворачивается. Это очень некрасиво с его стороны. Возможно, он просто сдерживается. Ладно, возможно, нужно долго ждать для того, чтобы они начали делать свои физкультурные дела. Да. Потянись, как пантера. Так, Кто-то разминается. Может, вы начнете? Пожалуйста. Это неподходящее место у вас тут. Так. Боже, Гарри. Здесь у меня такие длинные, тонкие ноги. Итак. Это самый лучший стрим. Самый замечательный. Я ничего не делаю. Мы просто смотрим на все анимации, которые есть в бездействии. У Гарри гораздо больше, он очень экспрессивный человек. Я все еще надеюсь, что я начну делать физкультуру. Возможно, это неподходящее место. Или не стесняться. Ладно, давайте все-таки у нас было автосохранение. Мы можем это закончить. Спасибо. Мы ждем следующий выпуск. И завершаем трансляцию.